Hey, I'm Sandra Namoto, and today is Halloween, and I've wanted to do a video on this for a long time, and today's as good as any. I don't have a flashlight. I was going to do a scary thing, but I'm not going to. But yeah, so today I want to talk about multi-level marketing, also known as network marketing or direct marketing. Not the type of direct marketing I talk about in my marketing book. And this is because I attended an online networking event recently, about last month. And then from that, I had a one-on-one chat with somebody who was at that event. And this person wanted to give me $500 worth of free resources that included a book that they had written in 1994 on network marketing. And that's when I realized, wow, like people have been doing this for a long time. And I'm not going to knock the products. Like I've been a customer and sampled many products from multi-level marketing companies like Arbonne. I have a necklace from Stella and Dot. I've bought products from doTERRA. So this is not a knock on the products or services themselves, but I do want to point out that this is a very unethical business model, and nobody seems to be talking about that. So I remember the first Tupperware party that my sister hosted and invited me to back in 2005. And as this woman was showing off all of the products that she had brought, I went, why can't we just buy this online? And of course she proceeded to say, well, it's more expensive if you buy online, it's cheaper if you buy from me, yada, yada. That was my first interaction with an MLM company. In 2009, when I was first starting out in business, I attended a meetup event that was tailored to women entrepreneurs. And I found that about 40%, so almost half of the women in that room were representing an MLM company. They did not have businesses that they started on their own. And so I gave that feedback after the meetup. And the next event that I attended, the host actually had to, she was responding to my comments saying, everyone here is an entrepreneur. Don't let anybody tell you otherwise. And I knew that was targeted at me, but I meant it. I really meant it, and I still do. For those of you might know, I was involved in a cult called NXIVM from 2013 to 2017, so 4.5 years. Of course, I didn't know it was a cult. I was signed up for a self-development program that has since been now found to be a cult and was involved in some illegal activity. And because some of the facilitators and program heads of that company produce a podcast called A Little Bit Culty. Very good podcast. You should subscribe to it. They have done a few episodes on MLMs and why they're super culty. Namely, there is one episode with Emily Lynn Paulson, who I listened to her episode again this year, and that's when I started to really formulate my thoughts around this. So the reason why MLMs are unethical, in my opinion, are number one, it relies on a free labor sales force. Okay, I'm going to talk about that more in a second. Number two, it requires, not always, but usually it requires a buy-in to start selling. So say you love the products of this company and you want to be a sales rep. You actually have to buy a starter pack to become a salesperson. In what other job are you asked to provide payment in order to start earning income? It just is unheard of. And of course, the more you sell, the higher you earn. But you have to keep in mind that 99% of people, and this is what Emily said, this is not me, 99% of people are not equipped enough to make a living selling, representing an MLM. My mom is a perfect example of this. She wanted to get involved in Cutco. She wanted to get involved in Salad Master. She wanted to get involved in Melaleuca. She loved the products, but she wasn't equipped enough to sell them and actually make an income. So you earn no base salary. And consider that the living wage salary in Vancouver is $3,500 a month full time. Maybe some of you can make that part-time if you're that good of a salesperson. but probably not most of you. And this is why women are such prey to these companies, because women are often the caregivers at home. They want flexible work because childcare is maybe part of their lifestyles. And that's why they offer things like trips, cars to women, because women like these bonuses that they get when they hit a certain level. Note that many of the executives at the top of these companies are men, even though they are relying on women as their free labor sales force. And a lot of these products, again, are targeted to women. So makeup, hair products, jewelry, health and wellness products, cookware. These are all things that women use, and so therefore may be good at selling. I personally lost about $250 in a crypto scam that had an MLM model. So even I'm susceptible to this. Now I use Coinbase for my very little cryptocurrency. So don't fall for crypto scams either. So that's all number two. Relying on free labor sales a free sales force and forcing people to buy in order to become a salesperson. Number three reason why these companies are unethical, in my opinion, are there's also coercive sales tactics that are taught and used. Again, not everywhere, but in many cases. So the heads of the folks who are at the top that have a lot of people under them in the model will use things like shame, guilt, in order to try and motivate their team to sell more products. And that's where it gets really culty. There's also a lot of misinformation spreading. So for example, during COVID, a lot of these very successful salespeople were telling their teams not to get the COVID vaccine. Completely irrelevant to what they're doing in business. And people were saying in Facebook groups, I saw this myself, that essential oils would cure COVID. Misinformation, okay? So, and there's no regulatory body that enforces these lies and puts, and is able to enforce fines or charges or prevent these people from continuing. So I know I'm speaking to a lot of folks in my network who are probably repping an MLM company, and you probably love it. I'm not saying you're a bad person or that you're in a cult, but in my opinion, I believe that if you're in an MLM, you're taking part in an unethical business model that has no legal recourse, because these companies make billions of dollars off of you. Some of these are even certified B Corps. I don't even know how that they got certified with this model, but yeah, there's no enforcement. And so again, if you're a consumer, you feel like there's something sketchy about this model, somebody's asked you to join their team, just buy the products if you like them, and ignore and do not pay attention to the sales and the labor side. So I hope that's helpful for some of you. I'm going to put the episode, Emily Lynn Paulson's episode, in the description here. But yeah, let me know what you think. Let's get a dialogue going.